Good morning, children. So today's lesson is about the great rulers who ruled over our country. We have studied about King Vijaya. So today we will be studying about King Dutthugamanu and King Vasabha and what are the services that were rendered by these kings towards the development of this country. So first we are going to study about King Dutthugamanu. Dutthugamanu was a Sinhalese king of Sri Lanka who reigned from 161 BC to 131 BC. So that was his ruling period, 161 BC to 137 BC. He is well known for defeating and overthrowing Ellalan, the Tamil prince from the Chola kingdom, who had invaded the kingdom of Rajarata in 205 BC. So we will be studying about what are the services that he has done, not only the services but also how he fought against uh, Prince Ellalan. So Prince Ellalan, he is a Chola prince. The Chola kingdom is in South India. So he came from this Chola kingdom from South India and he invaded the Rajarata, the kingdom of Rajarata, in the year 205 BC. So after he invaded this kingdom, King Dutthugamanu, he fights against Ellalan and he somehow defeats this Chola prince. So let's see what are the steps he took forward. What did he do? How did he fight against this Chola prince? So here you can see a picture of King Dutthugamanu. He was born at Tissa Maharama at Hambantota and he died at Anuradhapura in 137 BC. What was his ruling period? He reigned from 161 BC to 137 BC and then he was coronated in the year 161 BC. Coronation is the ceremony where they crown a prince as a king, and his spouse, that is his wife, was Queen Ranmanika. Here you can see a flag of King Dutthugamanu. King Dutthugamanu is described as a ruler who rendered a great service to organize the political power in this country. So as I told earlier, there were many kings who ruled over this country, but he is a very important king because he is the person who established the political power in our country. Unlike the other kings who just ruled, he was a person, he was very keen in establishing a political power in our country. He wanted to save certain things in the country, like the Matota International Harbour. He wanted to save Buddhism. So in order to save these things, he had to establish a political power in our country. Now we can see a construction that was made by King Dutthugamanu. That is the very famous construction. That is the Ruwan Valley Sayre. So it currently stands at over 90 meters in height and 91 diameters. Now you can see a picture. This is the most famous construction of King Dutthugamanu. King Dutthugamanu, who is highlighted in historical sources, was a ruler who rendered great service to organize the political power in this country. So you can see the historical sources always highlight about King Dutthugamunu's uh, services which were rendered towards establishing a political power, or the services rendered by him in order to establish a political power in this country. So the king understood the need of saving Matota International Harbour, which earned a good income. So he was very keen in protecting this Matota International Harbour, which he knew that he can earn a good income if he protects this Matota International Harbour. Trade affairs which were prospering in the Indian Ocean during his time. From then King Ellalan, who had usurped the power in Anuradhapura and uniting the country. The way that Prince Tutugamunu acted for that purpose, according to the advice and the plans of King Kawantisa, his father, was a landmark in the political history of this country. Prince Tutugamunu was the first to provide leadership to the first organizing fighting movement in the history of this country. Now you can see Prince Tutugamunu, he was the first person to provide leadership to the first organized. There were people who were fighting a fighting movement, like say it's not an army but the king's men. So he was the one who introduced this fighting movement in our country. The statement that he made about his fight against King Ellalan, which he would do not because that he wanted to enjoy comforts and the facilities of a king, but because for the benefit of the Buddhism, clearly shows how the ruler entered to the political process based on a common purpose on behalf of the country. So when he was asked why he wanted to overthrow King Ellalan, so it was not because he wanted to get rid of Ellalan and he wanted to become the king and enjoy the facilities of being a king, or wanted to enjoy the comforts of being a king. No, nothing like that. He had a very common objective, that was he wanted to, clearly he has stated that, and you can see through his actions, he wanted to preserve Buddhism in this country. So King Ellalan was not a Buddhist king, so he didn't want that to happen to this country. So he clearly wanted Buddhism to prevail in this country. So that is the reason he constructed, you can see earlier we saw a picture of the Ruanvali Sayer. So he contributed towards Buddhism. So you can see that he was a person who loved Buddhism, he loved his religion, and he wanted to preserve this religion. That is the reason he fought against King Ellalan and sent Ellalan away from this country. After the battle, the king ordered his subjects to respect his defeated rival's tomb, which shows his statesmanship. So, even though he was a king who was fighting and trying to keep the political power in the country, but he was also a kind person, because and he had a lot of respect even to his enemy. So, even to his enemy, he ordered his subjects, he ordered the people to respect. He told you have to respect the rival's tomb. Tomb is a place where they buried the dead bodies earlier. So he told you have to respect, which shows his statesmanship. So you can see, even though King Ellalan was his enemy, still he respected. As we have explained in the part Growth of Kingship of this lesson, the most important contribution that King Dutthagamuru made to the process of development of political power in this country was managing to combine the Paramukas, who had possessed this decentralized provincial power by then. At the end, he possessed a great power after being anointed as the king, Maharaja, of the country. Though he was so powerful, his redressing attitudes towards the people reflect that he could realize his prime responsibility, which was to work for the welfare of the people. The best example for this is that during the construction period of Ruanvali Stupa, the king ordered to run alms halls at 4 gates of the stupa and make payments for everyone who had participated in its construction works. King Dutthagamunu should be admired not merely for his service to Buddhism, but also for taking initiatives to organize the decentralized political power in Sri Lanka is also a prominent feature among his tasks. So you can see he was crowned as the Maharaja of this country. Maharaja means he was the great king of this country. So there were some kings, when they come to power, forget they forget to care for their people. Because they get all the comforts, they get all the facilities, so they start to neglect the people and ill treat their own people. But here you can see King Dutthugamanu, he was a person who was very much interested in serving his community. He tried to preserve Buddhism, and you can see when he constructed this Ruwangali stupa, he made sure that now in constructing a Ruwangali stupa, it's not an easy task. There are a lot of people are needed, so much of labor has to be input. So while these people are working, he did not send them empty handed. He could have done that because he was the king and he had the power to get people do all this work and just send them off without paying them. But what did he do? He told his men, there were 4 gates in the stupa, so he told at all the 4 gates of the stupa, you have to make payments for everyone who participated in this construction works. So it's a very nice gesture of a king. So if you take the king who constructed Taj Mahal, what did he do at the end? He cut off one of the hands of the people who constructed that beautiful construction. So Taj Mahal is very beautiful, but still the king who constructed that beautiful construction didn't have a beautiful heart. He was not a kind person. He just got work done and he did not pay them. Instead he could have at least just let them go, but instead he cut off these people's hands. So but if you consider King Dutthugamanu, we can really praise King Dutthugamanu for his contributions that he has done towards this country. King Dutthugamanu should be admired not merely for his service to Buddhism of this country, taking initiatives to organize the decentralized political power in Sri Lanka is also a prominent feature among his tasks. Okay, so we have studied about King Dutthugamanu. So now we are going to study about another great king. So he is King Vasabha. He reigned from 67 AD to 101 AD. His religion was Theravada Buddhism. King Vasabha constructed bathing tanks inside the city. He built tunnels to bring water to them. During the time of King Vasabha, the country was prosperous. King Vasabha ruled the country for 44 years. Now here we can see his construction. So King Vasabha was a very famous king who constructed these tanks in our city. He built tunnels to bring water to them. So you all have studied in grade 8 about the anekards and the tunnels which were constructed to carry water to these tanks from the river to the tank. So he had built a lot of tanks and he built a lot of tunnels also. During the time of King Vasabha, the country was very prosperous and he ruled Sri Lanka for how many years? 44 years. King Vasabha, who was the first ruler of the lineage of Lambakarna, so he was from the lineage of Lambakarna, was a prominent character among the rulers of this country. The procedure that the king followed to regulate and to organize the international administration of the country properly was exemplary. There are a number of inscriptions that he had established around the country. According to the information in them, the king tried to divide the country into provinces and regulate the administration. And also, inscriptions say that the process of collecting taxes of the state was made systematic during the king's time. So here you can see he not only did he fairly rule the country, but also he also has contributed a lot towards establishing the political power. He organized internal administrations of the country properly. That was the first point. And then you can see there are certain inscriptions which say which talk about the services or the constructions and what are the things he did for this country. So let's see what the inscriptions have to tell us. There are a number of inscriptions that has established around the country. According to the information in them, the king tried to divide the country into provinces. So what did he do? He tried to divide this country into provinces and then regulate the administration. And also inscriptions say that the process of collecting taxes of the state was made systematic during the king's time. So what are the first ones? What was the first thing that he did? He organized the internal administration of the country. Second one, he tried to divide the country into provinces and regulate the administration. And the third one, he collected stamps of the state in a very systematic way. The details of the historical sources reveal that King Vasabha pioneered in constructing large-scale tanks in this country for the first time. So we have studied about King Dittukamanu, about King Vijaya. So all these people, all these kings, they also made certain tanks, like small scale tanks. But the first person to build giant tanks, to build big tanks, was King Vasabha. He was the first king who introduced the giant tanks in Sri Lanka. The Vamsakatha, that is a chronicle, says that the king had constructed 16 large-scale tanks. So he was the first king to construct these large-scale tanks, the big tanks. And how many tanks did he construct? 16 large-scale tanks. The king tended to execute such kind of construction as there was a demand for the grains produced in this country in South India, because there was a dearth of food in the valley of Krishna river in South India. So people in Sri Lanka, they were engaged in cultivation at that time. So, and actually at that certain period of time, there was a famine like thing in South India. So there was a demand in getting food from Sri Lanka. So they exported crops from Sri Lanka to India, to South India. So because of that, the production or the cultivation in Sri Lanka was high. In Sri Lanka, there was a need to cultivate many crops, to cultivate many grains. So what did they do? They need water. They need a lot of water to cultivate. So that is the reason King Vasabha made these large-scale tanks. The immediate decision King Vasabha took to invest the public money on constructing new reservoirs can be analyzed as a far-sighted and a productive decision to address an international and regional need emerged at the time. Here we can see an ancient construction done by King Vasabha. The name of this Anicut is Elahara Anicut. So all these constructions were done in the 1st century. So this is the lesson for today. I hope that you all understood the lesson, and I want you all to complete the worksheet and the homework that is given. If you all have any doubts, you all can contact me through the Zoom app. So I hope you all will revise the lessons. God bless you all, children. Take care.